Abusua mo bibia kwa banfambra 2K News and Blogs so abusua ba ne say ne chese nsema hodo a ekoso e wo Ghana ase ne in the various political parties e wo Ghana ase ne aboabo no a de ba be so mo e wo channel we so make us channel e 2K News and Blogs abusua e beko ni akwa akọ video ne ni akwa akọ tie nsem ne pan yi amesa so adaruma obu ne ndi kwa so anse ne beko akọ he so wonya subscribe ya na wa subscribe dia mam we are now the bell notification icon so atọ se de be ya abribia no be drop video pe binye bia hentem so we are no feel free so also beche wadwe comment section de hotie e be ken kan de awano ahye amofofo so enye bia he ebusua mem pese mi kase be wapi yenko yenkutie sa asem mu nti mu pai
Forget about it. That time I was working for a company called Whole Foods Market. Okay. Now they actually was acquired by Amazon. 2014, after grad school, two of my classmates from China were like, they're moving to Ghana. I'm like, moving to Ghana? I'm like, how? They Chinese? I'm like, oh, they was like, they're moving here. So I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So I actually came with them. And I was like, hold up. It was actually their first time in Ghana. And I used to come to Ghana all the time and whatnot. So I'm like, well, if they could come here and stay, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm moving back too. So I went back to America, packed everything in my car. Then I moved there, October 2014.
But prior to that, had you not been to Ghana? Did you not enjoy it?
I was here, but I was never here, to be honest, during December, during the Christmas. Okay. But my dad always used to tell me, oh, come to Ghana during Christmas, come to Ghana because I'm not coming. But during the summertime, I used to come here a lot or whatnot. Right. But after that, I'm like, you know what? If my two Chinese classmates can move to Ghana and work here, it was their first time, and then I'm a native of the country. I'm like, no,
you might as well.
I'm coming.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting though, because I visited Ghana the first time after I'd been to the UK for so long.
Yeah.
But I felt connected, and I wanted to be back. Yeah. So it's so interesting how you're saying that even though you're a native of the land, you had been here on holidays and nothing, kicked you to.
No, I was just here and to see the family and whatnot. Yeah. Go back. Because the thing too is with all my siblings who are here in the US, when you're in the university, you always have to come to Ghana like your second year, second, third, and senior year, and you work for the family company.
Okay.
So you come. So that's the reason why I was here during the time when I was in uni. But before that, like when I was younger, I used to come here as well too.
Okay. That's good. And then, finally you decided, let me pack my bags.
Follow
my Chinese friends.
Let me follow my Chinese friends. Like my grandfather had passed away too, so the funeral was happening that October as well too. So moved there October, I think it was October 3rd, 2014. I have to check on my Instagram. I don't know. But 2014.
Before we talk about your business ventures in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
You must have done business in the US.
Oh, yes.
Right? So, the question I want to ask is, when did you wake up? Like,
to start,
as in mentally?
To start doing business, I started when I was about 13. I wanted a pair of shoes called Maury's. It was like alligator shoes from Italy. And that time, I'm from New York, went to school in the Bronx and everything. And a lot of people was wearing. I'm like, I want that too. So I asked my dad and my mom. I was like, "Can I have a Maury's?" And my dad was like, "What do you mean?" And then he's like, "When I was younger, when I was your age, I didn't wear shoes until I was 16. Why should he buy me a pair of shoes that's $250?" I'm like, "All right, cool, no problem." So he wasn't gonna buy it for me. I remember like growing up, I had 3 pairs of shoes: one for basketball, one for church, one for school.
Well, that was it.
That was it. So I'm like, so the whole time, like, well, we don't have money or anything like that. But then, like a couple of months later on, I was going to school with 2 of my classmates, and there was a couple that were fighting. And the lady was like, "I don't want your effing money." And she threw the money out the car. She was standing outside the car, but and she threw the money. And that time it was snowing too. And then like all the cars stopped because this money flying over. So I ran across the street. I picked some of the money up. Right there, that afternoon, after school was over, I bought a pair of Maury's. But I'm like, if I want to keep up with, I guess, the Joneses, or if you want to keep up with buying like nice shoes and nice things, I need to work. By that time I was 14. My parents was like, "No, I can't work." I was like, you know what, let me try and do business. But at that time, I was using my computer as a gateway computer, and a pop-up came up. It was Aunt Jemima cookies. So That one, I was like, maybe I could try and bake. So for 6 months, like I asked my mom to help me, and I was baking cookies, but I used to wrap it up in plastic, like one piece. I used to give it out to people in school for free. And then I'll give them a small piece of paper, like you write notes, like what do you think about the cookie, the size, suggesting, is it buttery enough? Is it too much chocolate? Isn't it enough chocolate? Things like that. So that was when I was 14. So I was just doing that. And after that, like I did I guess I could say my market research or something.
Yeah. That's your proof of concept, basically.
And then people started liking it because I'm like, all right, cool, let's start baking. So then I used to bake 3 cookies for $1. Then afterwards, I'm like, you know what, let's shrink the cookies, make it small. Do 2 cookies for $1. Okay. So then I used to, every day from, let's say for 2 to 3 years, I was making $75 a day selling cookies.
Wow.
Profit.
But you see, at that level though, you're like, that's your seed money, right?
Yeah.
That's your gross profit.
Yeah.
There's your net profit. Yeah. There's revenue. How did you understand all of that?
My seed money, because when I was going to school at that time, every day, my mom gave me $5.
Okay.
For school. So that $5, so every week is 25. So instead of using the 25, I saved the money. Then I used it. I saved 3 weeks of it. So I made $75. Then I bought flour, chocolate chip, butter, and all that stuff. So after that, then I started looking in the newspaper for coupons and stuff. So when it goes on sale, I used to buy a lot. Stock and keep it. That was like later on. So when I first started, I just started $25.
Right.
$25 with cookies, samples, things like that, yeah. And then even then, moving forward, later on, I used to do like birthday parties on the weekends too. So I used to bake more cookies on the weekends. So that was another revenue of another income as well.
You know, I also watched somewhere that you said, you know, you used to bring artists as well.
Yes, so that was that's when my whole life changed. So that was in university. So I went to Utica College of Syracuse, upstate New York. And that time, myself, 2 of my roommates, and 3 other friends, we started a company called High Class Entertainment. So what we used to do was like bring different artists to the campus and off campus as well too. So we started out like our freshman year, second semester. So our first event, like what we did was we bought little champagne bottles, gave it to all the girls for free. Wow. To attract all the girls. Yeah,
because if the girls come,
the guys will come. If the guys come, they'll spend money. And we always used to have the parties during the time, like after vacation or when we had paydays. So when people have money, they'll spend money. So everything was literally, everything was calculated.
That's smart.
So when we did that, and then our sophomore year, my roommates was like, oh, let's bring an artist, a bigger artist. So it was like that time was either Drake or Fabulous. And I was like, oh, let's bring Fabulous. But they were always like, let's bring Drake. And I was like, nah, let's just do Fabulous. But then Fabulous was asking for $25,000. But Drake was asking for $5,000. I'm like, we don't need it. Let's get Fabulous. Because that time was when his album Loso's Way came out. So we didn't have the money. So I'm like, you know what? Usually, like, my dad would transfer my tuition and some of my siblings' tuition to my account. So I'm like, you know what, let me use the money when it comes in. So I'm like, I'm going to use the money. Then we're going to book Fabulous. When the money comes and like, the ticket sales come, then we take the money back. I'll pay Rights tuition, call it a day. It was easy said than done.
Yeah.
So everything's going well. 2 weeks before the show, then the venue that we were having the show, it was like a high school campus. And they reached out, was like, no, we can't have the show there. Like, they don't think Fabulous will fit in the establishment and the school premises and all that stuff. I'm like, oh boy. Now it's like things fall apart, the book.
Yeah.
Like everything just then. Then now one of my sister directly after me, her school was calling my parents like, your daughter's exactly tuition. Yeah. And then my dad called and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, yeah, I can't, hello, I can't hear you. And I cut the line. Before I could say Jack, he was in America. And what's going on? And then they found out what I did. So I took my tuition, her tuition, and other tuition, put together to do a show. And the show actually went well. And I